According to my letterbox, I'm what the kids are calling a Kino head. I have 20-odd 5-star films for the nearly 1,000 films I've logged, and half of those are either black or white foreign films, or directed by Orson Welles. Or Paddington 2. Plugging my letterbox aside, the point I am making is that my film taste can stray into what people may call pretentious. But once in a while, I think we can all agree to let our hair down, kick back, relax, crack open a brewski, and put on content that everyone will enjoy. The Transformers. My god, I love giant epic robots from outer space that turn into random stuff and fight each other. Something about it just scratches the primal masculine itch to see pointless violence on screen. But I really wasn't expecting the newest film, Transformers 1, to actually be good. Like, some recent Transformers films have had good elements. Bumblebee's opening sequence is genuinely the most invested I've ever been in a film, and Predacons Rising has this baller of a line.
Because I now know the true meaning of oppression, and have thus lost my taste for inflicting it.
Transformers 1 goes above and beyond this though, to craft a hyper-focused and compelling film about the relationship between Optimus Prime and Megatron, and how fighting for what you believe is right can either make or break a person. But the scene I really wanted to focus on is the true, excuse the pun, transformation of Orion Pax and D-16 into the respective characters. And this is our next stop on the Scenic Route. So, I mentioned that the crux of Transformers 1 is the relationship between Orion Pax and D-16, and this is explicitly shown in the evolution of their friendship based around the beliefs of Vindication and Revolution. D-16, the violent revolutionary, wants to tear the structure of Sentinel Cybertron to the ground, while Pax, the endless optimist, wants to build a better Cybertron than the one they are replacing. Their end goal of a new Cybertron is the same, but the means to the ends through which they want to achieve this is greatly different, and this scene perfectly encapsulates this dichotomy. Orion's rebirth as Optimus Prime comes in the form of sacrifice and hope. He shielded Sentinel from D-16's cannon fire not to protect Sentinel, but to protect D-16's soul and hope of the Cybertron he believed they could build together. And this sacrifice is what informs Optimus's ideals for Cybertron. No Transformer is placed above another, all are equal in the eyes of Primus. Optimus stood by his ideals to create a peaceful, hopeful society, even if it meant standing against his closest friend to do so. On the other hand, D-16's rebirth as Megatron comes from an act of vindictive rage and murder. His belief that he should be judge, jury, and executioner for Sentinel's crimes is indicative of his views of what Cybertron society should be, a place of justice and might makes right. Him ending an already defeated foe demonstrates his ideals, not as that of a fair society where everyone is equal, but one where he is the true decider of everyone's fates. His lust for revenge superseded all else, driving him away from his initial goals of rebuilding Cybertron. And the way the film frames this, with Optimus and Megatron being reborn simultaneously after their defining acts of sacrifice and murder, perfectly demonstrates the parallels in the characters and their ideologies.
Optimus Prime.
This is really driven home, I think, by the means of their rebirth as well. D-16 taking the T-Cog of Megatronus from Sentinel's corpse and declaring himself Megatron! Demonstrates an egotistical and self-serving attitude to his leadership, reflected in his desires for an effective second dictatorship. Orion Pax receiving the matrix of leadership from Primus himself and being declared
Optimus Prime
is representative of the honor he lives by and worthiness he demonstrates, reflected in his ideals to rebuild Cybertron as a place of equality. And ultimately, we see in the finale of the film that both win. For Optimus, all Cybertronians are gifted their T-Cogs and the Energon flows, meaning all are equal. For Megatron, Cybertron's rebuilt society was in fact founded on the blood of Sentinel, ensuring that the spark of violent revolution will always survive. So that's why I think The Rise of Optimus Prime and Megatron is a fantastically executed scene in cinema. It demonstrates the relationship between these two characters and their conflicting ideals in a very concise yet detailed way, and for it becomes a brilliant deconstruction of how differing beliefs for the same ideal can rupture even the deepest bonds. So learn a lesson from these robots and keep your comrades close as we travel to our next stop on the Scenic Route.